So now to transition in Brazil, when we were in Argentina, we had to apply for visas. So for those that are now watching this video, at the time you're watching this video, for y'all that don't know, they got rid of the visa requirements for Americans because Trump, our president and their president, they're kind of similar and they're buddy. So they took that away, but we did have to apply for a visa, man. Talk about that, applying for the visa to even get into Brazil. For those that ever have to want to go to a country where they do have to apply for a visa in advance, like, talk about that.
I mean, we went after doing a lot of research, trying to figure out what was gonna do. We ended up going to the embassy, and we actually messed up because I forgot when we originally went. I think we went to the Brazilian building or whatever that wasn't
the consulate.
Yeah, and they told us we actually had to go to the actual embassy, and it was closed, so we had to wait another day. And then when we got there, I think they ended up saying it was gonna cost not like expensive, but it was gonna cost like at least $100 or so to do all that. But then we looked it up where we could just do it for like 40 or 50 or
online.
Something.
It was getting expensive far as the trip though.
Because this was towards the end of the trip.
We learned about the online trip, online e-visa. Shout out to Trish again.
Trish.
She was already.
She was really looking out for the brothers.
She left a little bit before us, and she was already in Brazil. She told us what she did, so we did end up doing that. But yeah. Also, we were just fighting the cold. From Chile to Argentina, start getting colder and colder. So. It was definitely good, but yeah, the visa, cause we was gonna go to Bolivia. That was an option, but we wasn't trying to pay that $100.
$150. I've been there before. Yeah.
Sorry, Bolivia.
Clean, $100 bills.
Later on, but yeah, it was the thing that to put in the context. It was I think another month after that was when you wouldn't need a visa anymore. So we just barely missed that mark. So that's why I felt like it was a waste of time. But yeah, it was definitely an experience.
No, I say waste of time because when we got to the border, they didn't even look at that shit.
Yeah, that's one thing. I feel like there was always an anticipation that we have at each border. Like it's almost like a roller coaster. You go and you get.
Wait. I think they did look at the visa, but they didn't look at because when we doing the visa, we had to go and had to see like our start date when we were getting there and when we were leaving.
Nah, bro.
They didn't look at that.
They didn't look at none of that, bro.
But they didn't look at the visa?
No, bro. They didn't pay no mind to it. They just stamped it, bro. Yeah, they were just talking to each other and they just was like, snap.
I know they asked when we got out. I almost couldn't get out of the country.
Now let's. Oh man, I feel like we could probably do a whole interview alone on just Brazil. But man, Brazil, man, that place is amazing. I would definitely say for those that are going to backpack South America, for me personally, I would recommend starting in Colombia and doing the route that we did and saving Brazil for last, because from Colombia to Argentina, Latin culture is very similar. They have its subtle nuances that are a little bit different, but the food's basically the same. Everybody's listening to reggaeton. The language is the same. But when you cross over to Brazil, like, you really feel like because for me, even when I look back on it now, a lot of those countries blurred together. So some of these cities, I get them mixed up with.
That's true.
But when you leave into Brazil and you start seeing that Portuguese written out, it's different.
Right when you cross the border.
Right when you cross the border. Portuguese. I mean, it just sounds different. And for me, that was the only time in the trip where I really didn't feel as confident traveling as I had before, because I was so used to Latin America and my Spanish is pretty strong. But man, when I was like, yo, we're all on the same level now. Like, we really gotta look out for each other.
First time, all on the same level.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm just as lost as you guys are.
I was like, welcome to the club. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the club, bro. Like, bro, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. Like, bro, I don't know the language like you do. You know what I'm saying? I got really good at it.
Yeah, he did. He was holding.
I was holding, having a long conversation.
But this dude,
I know enough.
wouldn't practice or open his mouth for nothing.
Oh, Puerto tener.
Donde está baño?
I knew enough to get by.
Yeah, he did though. He did
But
though.
I need to take a lesson because it was extra hard for me to. I think I was able to understand, I guess, a little bit better than I could speak. But then, once they start talking at their normal pace, which is fast in my mind, then I get lost. And I mean, what I tried to do was I tried to listen for key words so that I could somewhat understand what they were saying. But I mean, it was hard.
Context clues.